Ray Bulgarin's past consisted of making plenty of money and gaining power within the Russian criminal underworld. He was the person the Russians in Liberty City looked up to, along with fearing him. Back in the late 80s, he made a chunk of his money from which is what got him deported from some time. But again, that's what his rep somewhat came from. But keep in mind, from the 80s to 08 was 20 years ago at that point. Saying that to say it's his past glories people respected, not so much what he did in his life coming to America. He felt coming to Liberty City specifically would be a walk in the park to capitalize. But before his death, we saw how he was tricked. As we know, Niko ends up working for him because he was powerful along with having work. Niko couldn't find real work around the time they first met, so of course he goes to Bulgarin, being that again, he was the man. But of course, down the line, their relationship wouldn't be one anymore after one of his loads sunk to the bottom of the ocean. After almost being busted, Niko speaks on how Bulgarin lost a lot of money with this happening, along with him blaming Niko, forcing him to join the Navy and finally coming to America.
Some time ago, I worked for Mr. Bulgarin in Europe, smuggling people across the Adriatic. A ship sunk. The cargo sunk to the bottom of the sea. I had to swim for my life. Bulgarin lost a lot of money that night and they needed someone to blame. This was one of the reasons I leave Europe and come here to Liberty City. Our paths crossed back when I was living in Hope Beach as well. My cousin and I moved up to Bohan to get away from him and another man called Dmitri Rascalov.
That's a real shame. I can see you fitting right in down in Hove Beach, Niko. Probably a good thing you got out, though. Wouldn't have met me if you'd stayed, would you?
When you put it like this, I'm one lucky motherfucker, Pecky.
As for Bulgarin, he would lose more money after illegal diamonds is stolen from him. This alone made him come back to America to get them. Of course, along with trying to find connections to recoup his losses, something we see in full later. Niko later finally reveals to Roman about Bulgarin. He spoke on the connections he thought he had, but these were just other Russians that knew of him from back in the day. Dmitri even fell for his past doings after he gets Faustin took off. This is confirmed after Dmitri tries to get Niko killed for Bulgarin. He even goes to say how he's a good friend of his and refers to him as one of his bosses. Bulgarin also says something telling to Niko during their first encounter after some years.
Hey, Niko! Glad you can make it. But I just wanted to say how grateful me and my bosses are for what you did.
Good.
Yes. And I just wanted to check something with you.
Okay.
You are Niko Bellic, correct?
What is this?
And you used to work the coast in the Mediterranean, smuggling people into Italy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But you messed up. And left a lot of bad debt. You left a good friend of mine out of pocket. Big time.
Hello, Niko.
Hello.
Mr. Bulgarin.
Where is our money?
Bulgarin saying where's our money shows one of the reasons Dmitri snaked Faustin was to be under Ray instead of Faustin. But on Bulgarin's end, him saying this shows that whatever price was on that boat, he never got back, which is why I feel one of the reasons he was around Dmitri, trying to get back his wealth. He knew he was still saluted by people he needed at this point, making it easy. Also, by this conversation, this might have been the first time Niko and Bulgarin actually had a conversation about what happened, being that it goes back to his rep. He didn't need to hear what Bulgarin was going to do to not do what he did, which was trying to lay low.
I don't know. I didn't rob you.
Really?
We were busted a mile off the coast. I had to swim for my life. I don't know what happened. I nearly drowned.
Huh. My heart is bleeding.
I did my best! I didn't f*** up!
But of course, after Niko knows Bulgarin is in Liberty City now, he starts to panic.
There's a bigger problem.
What?
That guy I owed money to.
Bulgarin.
Yes, the guy in Europe who lives by the Adriatic.
Yeah, he's here now. I'm sorry. I've ruined your life.
Along with them having to leave Broker, but again, with Ray's influence, it made him think that he was somewhat unstoppable, along with thinking his influence was powerful all around. But on the upper class side, we see how his past didn't mean anything, along with Ray being tricked into thinking that it did. The money he did have, he felt that's all he needed to get somewhere in America. He was at Mason at 9 with his right-hand man, requesting things he couldn't have at the club. But again, even with money, he couldn't fit in with this type of business. And by the way, he's even here at the club for a specific reason.
Whoa, just a quick hello. Gentlemen, my name's Tony Prince. Hope you're enjoying yourselves.
Ray Bulgarin, tell me, where are the women? How much? I mean,
No. They're not hookers. This is not that kind of club.
everywhere is that kind of club. You just need to know how much to pay.
It's good to meet you. Please come back. Enjoy your night. My right-hand man, Luis, will take care of you. Good night.
Tony, calling Luis's right-hand man, gave Ray the opportunity to try to get him on his side. He tries to down Tony so he can look like the guy he needs to be around. Of course, Luis, now being by himself with the two, he puts on his hospitality to when Ray takes a liking to him.
So how's it going, gentlemen?
Is your boss?
Sure.
Must make for funny times at bonus time.
Hysterical.
But during their conversation, picking each other's brain, Ray asks about where could he get cocaine from, being that he knew a place like Masonette, of course, had coke being sold out of it. Luis plays dumb, acting like he didn't know, but it was Rocco. He may have not been a kingpin, but he needed just that type of connection with people in America. Bulgarin, from this point on, has always seemed to have something up his sleeve, trying to get something out of someone to benefit him. But Ray would then say something telling to Luis after Luis denies knowing who had coke.
Where does the coke come from in this place?
I don't know about that shit, man. I just make sure people don't get killed.
How very boring. I prefer it when they do.
The fact he looked at what Luis told him his role was to be boring reveals to us that Ray definitely has some screws loose. But keep in mind, this is the side of LC he wanted to be around at this point, as a way to try to expand.
You, I like. Not so much.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you. Luis, we gotta go. Good night. Jesus, Russian, richer than the church. Buy this place, end all our troubles.
Yeah, nothing like Russian gangsters to bring a sense of peace and stability to a problem.
Tony would be another fooled by Bulgarin's presence, but things like this is why Tony needed Luis on his team. Luis was just doing his job, but unlike Dimitri or Niko, he didn't even want to get involved with them. The only reason he really even went to Bulgarin to start with was after he had to shoot his way out of Bahama Mamas on top of everything else. Luis was tired of being in certain situations he was put in around this time. He was still loyal as he could be, but Ray reached out to him at the right time. Ray invites him to his sister house, but here we see more of how Bulgarin's mindset was while being in America.
Yo, Mr. Bulgarin here?
He tries to buy a patent for 20 million, which is about 200K in rubles, but even a price that high, he couldn't get it. Whoever he was on the phone with, he ends up threatening them, being that making threats was one of his tactics to strike fear. But Bulgarin doesn't have it happen because he thinks anything has a price.
I don't care if he doesn't want to sell. I want to buy. How much did you offer the last time? Double it. Offer 20 million, and then we see if it is not for sale. If this painting is not hanging on my wall, your head will be. Okay? Think about that.
But being willing to pay 20 million and still not be able to get it is telling about people in the upper class not respecting him like what he's used to. But him inviting Luis to where he lays his head showed Luis too much. His sister calls him out of anger, being that he moved her to Duke's. But this shows things wasn't how it seems, leading him to have to admit that he's still adjusting in America.
You want I should pay visit to his children at their school?
Not yet. I think there's always a price in this city. Oh, Luis, excuse us. We're being rude.
Don't worry about it, man. I like the setup here.
These guitars are all collector's items.
Okay, man, good for you. Got a nice place here, Mr. B.
That is piece of shit. I bought it for my sister.
Hey, you bring me to this fucking country and you keep me in an ugly cage. No one on TV lives in fucking Dukes. Then you come and move all my stuff into hallway and fill place with fucking guitars.
Shut up, bitch! Take your pills! Rando mine is here!
Ha! You don't have any friends. You don't even have a business here. You are nothing in this
My
country.
sister, she's still getting adjusted. We all are.
Fuck you, Ray. You have ruined my life.
Yes! Yes!
He bought the house with his own money, cool. But this shows he really didn't have his priorities straight. $50,000 worth of music equipment, along with one an expensive painting, shows this alone. But also this shows how he sold his own sister a dream about coming to Liberty City. He then tells Luis about a plan to own a hockey team. Even after it shown things wasn't really right, he felt taking out the people that was against him and doing this would make this happen. Luis tries to warn him, but he doesn't listen, being that he has it in his mind that he knows best. This also showed how people really don't talk to Bulgarin like that, and he's not used to it.
There is a particular unit that has a hard-on for me. And why? Because Markiashvili won't sell me the rampage. You'll get rid of them. I will own this fucking team.
Hey, the problem ain't just gonna disappear over here if we kill some crooked cops.
Leave that strategizing to me. If the money tells you to cut your fucking legs off, you'll do it. That's the American way.
All right, man.
Thank you. I like you. I make you rich. I make you man. Take out the whole team. No exceptions.
Okay, man, if that's what the money wants.
You're a bright guy, Luis. I still like you. You made a good choice coming here. Man, no good.
The whole riot taking care of business, he still tries to reel in Luis. But after is what really matters. Luis asks why he came, being that he's supposed to be this feared boss, to when Ray says this.
You mind me asking why a man of your means still gets his hands dirty like this?
It is important to keep an eye on your people.
But you trust Timur, right?
I trust no one.
Is that it then? You're just too paranoid to let someone else get nasty?
Why would I pay someone to have all the fun? You don't get a kick out of it. It does not get you dick hard.
But as we know, he's lying. He says what he's supposed to say in this, being that again, he's trying to impress Luis, being that we saw what he actually does in combat, which is running away. But Luis would still be on the fence with involving himself with Ray. He calls him to when Bulgarin tells him that basically his offer he gave Luis wouldn't be forever. But this is him trying to pit fear in Luis about missing out. But as we know, it's really nothing to really miss out on.
Luis Lopez, you have thought about my offer?
I told you where I stand.
This is not like thing in your American supermarket. It has sell by date. There are others in this city who would kill for this opportunity.
Shit, man. I already killed for it. I'm thinking, all right?
Then think harder. Goodbye.
In between all of this, he played a part in Roman's kidnapping after they realized Roman gambled in their illegal card games. This made Niko want to kill the two even more, but Roman tells him to back off away from him, being that they only saw a certain side of what they had moving. This will also now have the two leave Bohan, showing, believe it or not, fear was put into the two. Things like this is why Bulgarin had a big head in what he did.
At first it was just a debt, and then they found out my name. They connected me to you and what happened in Hove Beach. They wanted me to give you up. I would never...
I know you wouldn't, Roman. I thought we were done with Dmitri when we got out of Hove Beach. But he and Bulgarin know how to hold a grudge.
We have to get out of Bohan. Maybe it is time to go to Algonquin. We can disappear in Algonquin.
Only for so long. We will be found eventually, no matter where we go. Confrontation and or peace will be our choices at some point. I know the option I am leaning toward.
I'd go for anything as long as I could be guaranteed safety. That's all I want. Shit.
Man, this is out of control.
I know.
What are we going to do?
I don't know.
We're going to die. I don't want to die, man. Not like this. No, I'm scared, you cold bastard. What are we going to do?
Back on the other side of things, Luis will still be around. But we see more of how Bulgarin's moves outside of the streets didn't work. Even with taking care of the corrupt cops that was involved with the hockey team, he still wasn't able to own the team, as if he could with or without violence. But this angered him, leading him to force Luis to kill the owner. Here we see Luis try to draw the line at being a hitman, being that he's fully aware Bulgarin is using him, all because he didn't get his way in owning this team.
Sit down. Sit down.
Sure.
Can I get you anything? A drink? Oh, you Spanish have the rhythm. Give us a fucking beat, man. You don't drum, but you dance, don't you, Louis? You dance.
I can dance, man, but not with you and him.
That's a shame.
You dance, Mr. B?
Money doesn't dance. The money doesn't dance, my friend.
Okay, but you need some work done.
Wait. Listen. Ooh. This is it. This is it.
Hey, can you ask the ape to stop playing for a second?
You want I should stick $50,000 guitar up your ass?
No, but I got some friends I can introduce you to if that's how you get your kicks.
Oh, funny guy.
All right. All right. Okay. You have heard about Liberty City. Rampage. The owner still will not accept my offers.
You mean after you killed this special team of cops? It's weird. You want me to negotiate with him?
The time for negotiations over. Do what needs to be done in his boardroom. Send a message.
Hey, I ain't a hitman, bro. I mean, I'll fight anyone, do whatever. But I ain't a contract killer. You'll have to find someone else, man. I mean, it's not my thing. I ain't qualified for that shit.
I wasn't discussing your career development. I was telling you what to do. Now, fuck off and go.
At this point, Luis was in too deep, being that his weakness stopped him from thinking straight. Bulgarin has his right-hand man accompany him to when we hear how he feels when Bulgarin says to do something, you're supposed to do it.
Okay. So?
So fucking what?
So, what's up, bro?
Fuck off.
Chill, man. I'm just trying to converse with you. My job is hospitality
Your
and...
job is kill Marky Ashvili for Ray Bulgarin. You put people in the ground, my friend. You killer like me. That's what Bulgarin want you to do. So that's what you do. Hospitality is for weaklings.
Things like this shows why Bulgarin became comfortable with having his own way, which is why he takes it personal when he couldn't. He didn't like Tony because he couldn't pay his way with the females in the club. He figured Niko robbed him instead of taking accountability that maybe a lot of heat was on him. He didn't even like his sister going out his way to buy her a house he wouldn't stay in himself. His past made him narcissistic, but at this point, being in America, he seemingly for the first time is starting to hear things he never heard before as an adult, somewhat driving him crazy. It was bad enough something very valuable was stolen from him, but everything he tried to plan isn't working. Luis killed the owner of the hockey team, which is what he thought was going to be his big break, but it didn't happen. Along with the fact Niko still was in Liberty City moving around, messed with him too. Showing his perception he thought about America turned out to be wrong, and he knew this, so with his main plan failing, he goes back to one of his losses he took earlier after he couldn't recoup, which was the diamonds. He asked around to when he learned no other than Tony had them. At first, he never brought up the diamonds to Luis for the fact he again thought that owning the hockey team would make up for it, along with not wanting Luis to think someone would even think to steal from him. Earlier, we seen him somewhat have happiness to now not even be able to pull it together.
Mr. Lewis.
Hey, where's the one-man band?
He's working.
Oh, okay.
Ray! Hey, Ray!
And his sister speaking wouldn't help at all. It's bad enough he knows he fell short on his journey to be a major figure in America, but his sister starting to call it out, especially with the guy involved with his diamonds hearing it, makes him be at his boiling point.
Have company! Shut up!
Don't tell me to shut up!
So, I've heard from some people I know that maybe you have some diamonds for sale.
Not me, my boss, Tony. Oh, my other boss.
Yeah. You got them from the fat cook.
Ray! Ray! What are you still doing here anyway?
I'll stay as long as I like!
You think you're a big man? Where's your house on Middle Park East? Where's your big sports team, huh?
Shut up, you Shut up, you fucking
Hey, man, is she okay?
And to add insult to injury, forget about what happened at LC. His sister brings up his past in Russia before he even got rich, showing his past was something he didn't like either, let alone someone else saying it. But he's thinking about the diamonds at the same time, knowing Luis knew who had them.
A big gun next to a big man, huh? Your thingy was tiny even before the wrestling coach make you take steroids. Mother always said she only had daughters.
Ignore her, Luis. The diamonds, tell me.
I gotta talk to Tony.
You gotta talk to Daddy. I thought I was making you a real man, not a rand boy.
Bro, I can't sell what ain't mine, bro. And plus, with all the work I put in for you, I don't really feel like a man yet.
Luis was blind to why he was even asking about them. Luis responded blindly, but Bulgarin had a trick up his sleeve to make him feel better.
Okay. Son, man, son. I want you to cover Timur's back. I need you there.
Okay, man, I got it. But you should chill out, bro.
Let me decide when to chill out! Go!
Yeah, what's up? I'm here.
You're in position. Do you see a box in front of you?
Yeah.
Open it. Have you opened it yet?
No, give me a sec.
No.
Okay, I'm here.
Do you recognize this man?
Shit! Yo, what the fuck? Is this the guy we bought the ice from?
You colluded with him to steal from me.
Yo, we just got some rocks off him, okay? Look, listen.
No, you listen. I offered you an opportunity, yet you were plotting against me.
Yo, I ain't know shit about those rocks.
But I believe it doesn't matter. I will do everything in my considerable power to drive you and your master from this earth. Goodbye.
Oh, shit! Fucking great.
For Bulgarin, killing Luis earlier there and then, of course, wouldn't be enough for him. But even though Luis or Tony didn't know he was the owner of the diamonds, he still felt played, showing how he's just picking a fight at this point, so he can come to terms with things not working out. He underestimated Luis at this point due to his anger, all because he couldn't control it. Ray knew his diamonds was all over the place as well, but at this point, his diamonds were everyone else's diamonds. As we know, it was an exchange involving Tony, Niko, and Luis, the people he had on his list, still alive, leading him to calm down to confront them.
Niko Bellic, how is it? That whenever something is stolen from me, you're not far away.
I have never stolen anything from you, Mr. Bulgarin.
This man, the big and his Dominican beach, they stole my diamonds. And you have been trying to rob the thieves, to rob me. Conchai!
Fuck! I don't care what you did to that man, but we ain't leaving here without them diamonds.
Niko and Luis escaped the attack to when Niko finally caught on to his coward ways.
The Russian is called Ray Bulgarin. I worked for him on the Adriatic. He thought I stole from him and he came after me. I had to leave Europe because of him.
And they were his diamonds?
I don't know about that. They're nobody's now. The only thing that makes me smile about this shit is that Bulgarin does not have the ice. Piece of shit does not even stay at the fight to see the outcome. Just leaves his boys to clear up.
We was outnumbered, Niko. I can see how he thought it was covered.
This is not the first time he has assumed that I would be killed by some of his employees. Hopefully one day I'll be able to teach him his lesson by putting a bullet through the back of his head.
You're not meant to say what you wish for out loud. It won't come true if you do. That rule even works for wishes as cheerful as yours.
Paki would be right. At this point, Niko would never see Bulgarin again, but after this, Bulgarin takes it a step further to try to get Luis and Tony killed. He goes to the Ancelotti showing how desperate he was to when Rocco figured if Tony was killed instead of Luis, things would be alright.
Is the Russian has come to Mr. Ancelotti and said he wants the head of anyone involved with the diamonds. I think we can cut a deal. We give him one body.
But of course, Luis takes his chances.
What now?
I don't know. Didn't he say the Russians are coming?
Doesn't stop, does it?
At this point, Dimitri is dead, leading him to be the one with the heroin, something I'll get into down the line. But while Luis attacks his men, he again flees to the airport to when he gets them. During the last encounter, Luis calls him out about his ways, even going to say how he regretted working for him.
Hey, you trying to leave without saying goodbye?
No, I would have come back to finish things with you. Are you glad to be back with your master?
Hey, I don't know what the hell I was thinking hanging with you, asshole. You're a fucking joke, man. All the money in the world and you can't get shit done.
I will get you done, you bitch.
After Bulgarin man was killed on his jet, he's forced to face his fate. But of course, if he goes, Luis goes with him. He then kills him anyway, and the rest is history.
You kill me, we all die. You
can't shoot me, you'll blow a whole plane up! I'll take my chances.
Ray came to LC, his power in the criminal underworld made him think everyone would bow down to him for the fact it was like that in Russia. He also thought having money, he could have his way with anything, but him thinking that caused him to be tricked by America.